Hi everyone, this is Prithipyanka Prusti from GM University doing integrated BD. I am here to introduce you to a new topic, that is tissue, and in this video we will cover up to plant tissue. Let's start the topic. As we all know that all the living organisms are made up of cells. In unicellular organisms, a single cell performs all the basic functions. For example, in amoeba, a single cell carries out intake of food, gaseous exchange and excretion. But it is different in multicellular, because in multicellular organisms there are millions of cells. Most of these cells are specialized to carry out specific function. Basically, in multicellular organisms, they show division of labor. Cells specializing in one function are often grouped together in the body. This means that a particular function is carried out by a cluster of cells at a definite place in the body. This cluster of cells are called a tissue. So here is the definition of tissue. A group of cells that are similar in structure and or work together to achieve a particular function forms a tissue. In the last chapter, we have already studied that there are certain difference between plant and animal cell. So can you guess that there are any difference between plant and animal tissue, or they are similar? So to understand this, first we have to recall some difference between plant and animal. We all know that plants are stationary or fixed. They don't move. Since they have to be upright, they have a large quantity of supportive tissue. The supportive tissue generally has dead cell. Animals, on the other hand, move around in search of food, mate, and shelter. They consume more energy as compared to plants. So, most of the tissue they contain are living. Let's start plant tissue. Plant tissue are of two types: meristematic plant tissue and permanent plant tissue. Meristematic tissue are further divided into three types: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. Permanent tissue divided into two types: simple permanent, complex permanent. Simple permanent further divided into three types: Parenchyma, Collenchyma, and Sclerenchyma. Complex permanent divided into two types, that is Xylem and Phloem. The growth of plant occurs only in certain specific region, because in this region a certain kind of tissue is present which has the ability to divide, and this tissue is called as meristematic tissue. The meristematic tissue are also called as dividing tissue as they are able to divide. The meristematic tissue help in the growth of plant. The cell of meristematic tissue are very active. They have dense cytoplasm, thin cellulosic walls and prominent nuclei, but they lack vacuoles. We know that meristematic tissue are present in certain region of the plant. Depending on the region where they are present, meristematic tissue are classified as apical meristem, lateral meristem and intercalary meristem. First, apical meristem. Apical meristem present at the tips of roots and stem. They help in lengthwise growth of the plant, which makes the plant taller. Then lateral meristem. Lateral meristem present at the side of the stem and root. They help in increasing the thickness or the width of the plant. The third one is intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem is found in the base of internodes and they promote lengthening of stems. We learned that meristematic tissue help plant grow by dividing continuously. But do you think all plant cells keep dividing forever? No. At some point, these cells mature and stop dividing. They form permanent tissue which help in performing different functions like support, transport and storage. This process of taking up a permanent shape, size and a function is called differentiation. So the definition of permanent tissue is a group of mature cells that have lost the ability to divide and perform specific functions in the plant. There are two types of permanent tissue: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So what is the main difference between simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue? Simple permanent tissue are made up of only one type of cell and their main job is to provide support, storage and flexibility. Whereas complex permanent tissues are made up of more than one type of cell and they help in the transport of food and water. Simple permanent tissue are divided into three types: Parenchyma, Collenchyma and Sclerenchyma. Complex permanent tissue are two types, Xylem and Phloem. Simple permanent tissue. A few layers of cell beneath the epidermis are generally simple permanent tissue. The first type of simple permanent tissue is parenchyma. Parenchyma is the most common type of simple permanent tissue in plant. It consists of relatively unspecialized living cell with thin cell wall. These cells are usually loosely arranged, creating intercellular space between them. Parenchyma mainly functions in storing food and nutrients, making it essential for plants' growth and survival. It is found in various parts of the plant, including leaves, stems, roots, and fruits. Sclerenchyma and Parenchyma are two specialized types of parenchyma tissue found in plants. Sclerenchyma is a type of parenchyma that contains chlorophyll and performs photosynthesis. Sclerenchyma is mainly found in leaves, green stems, and young plant parts where photosynthesis occurs. Parenchyma is a specialized type of parenchyma tissue that has large air spaces between the cells. These air-filled spaces help aquatic plants float on water by reducing their overall weight and providing buoyancy. Then the second one is Collenchyma. Collenchyma is a type of simple permanent tissue composed of living cells with thickened cell wall. The thickening occurs specially at the corner of the cell due to the deposition of cellulose and pectin, which provides additional strength. One of the key characteristics of Collenchyma is its flexibility, which allow plant parts to bend without breaking. The cells are closely packed, minimizing intercellular spaces, which enhance structural support. It helps plants withstand wind and mechanical stress, ensuring proper growth and development. So the third type of simple permanent tissue is Sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is a type of simple permanent tissue composed of dead cell at maturity. The cell walls are thickened due to lignin deposition, making them hard, rigid and waterproof. These cells are tightly packed, leaving no intercellular spaces, which enhances the plant's structural integrity. Sclerenchyma provides mechanical strength and support, making the plant firm and strong. It is commonly found in stem, veins of leaves, seed coat, knot cells and coconut cells. Its primary function is to provide rigidity, strength and structural support, helping plants withstand harsh environmental conditions. Imagine you water a plant. How do you think water reaches the topmost leaves? And what about the food made by the leaves? How does it reach the roots? Just like our body has a blood vessels to transport oxygen and nutrients, plants have a transport system too. This system consists of complex permanent tissue, xylem and phloem. So, the complex permanent tissue consists different type of cells that work together to perform a common function, mainly transporting plants. Xylem and phloem are such example of complex tissues. They are both conducting tissue and constitute a vascular bundle. Plants have a special transport tissue that carries water from the roots to the leaves. This system is called xylem. Xylem is a complex permanent tissue responsible for transporting water and minerals from root to different part of the plant. It consists of four components, each with a specific functions. The components are tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. First, tracheids. Tracheids are the water conducting cells. These are long, narrow, tube-like dead cells with tapered ends. The cells have thick cell walls with lignin, making them strong and rigid. The tracheids conduct water slowly due to their narrow structure, and they are found in all vascular plants including gymnosperm. Then xylem vessels. They are the main water transporter. These are wider and shorter than tracheids, forming a continuous tube. Vessels are made of dead cells with thick lignified walls. Vessels transport water faster than tracheids. Then the third one is xylem parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma are the only living cells in xylem. They store food and water for the plant. Xylem parenchyma also helps in lateral water movement. After xylem parenchyma, then there is xylem fiber. Xylem fiber are the supportive cells. Xylem fibers are made up of dead cells with thick walls. They provide mechanical strength to the plant and help keep stems strong and upright. In this slide, you can see the image of components of xylem, that are tracheids, vessels and xylem parenchyma. So there are some characteristics of xylem. The main characteristic of xylem are mostly xylems are made up of dead cells except xylem parenchyma, which we have already studied. They conduct water only in upward direction, that is from roots to leaf. Xylem have thick lignified walls making it strong and rigid. Xylem forms wood in trees. So these are the characteristics. Then what are the functions of xylem? The functions of xylems are they mainly transport water and minerals from roots to different plant parts. They provide mechanical strength to the plants and they support the plant structure by making it rigid. We learn that how plant transport water from roots to a different part of the plant. Then how does food travel from the leaves to other part of the plant? So here is the answer. The answer is phloem. Phloem is a complex permanent tissue responsible for transporting food mainly in form of sucrose from leaves to all part of the plant. Unlike xylem, which transport water in one direction, phloem allow the movement of food in both direction, upward and downward. This process is known as translocation. Xylem has four components. Likewise, phloem also has four components. The four components of phloems are seed tubes, companion cell, phloem parenchyma and phloem fiber. The first one is seed tube. Seed tubes, these are long tube-like living cells arranged end to end. Their walls have small pores called seed plates. The seed tubes, in the wall of the seed tubes, they have small pores. These are called seed plates which allow the movement of food. Seed tubes lack nuclei, so they depend on companion cell for support. The next one is companion cell. The companion cells are small living cells found alongside seed tubes. They help in controlling the function of seed tubes and provide them with energy. The third one is phloem parenchyma. These are living cells that store food and help in the transport of nutrients. Phloem fiber. The last one is phloem fiber. These are the only dead cells in phloem. They provide structural support and strength to the phloem tissue. So here is some characteristic of phloem. They are mostly made up of living cells except for phloem fibers. They transport food in both the direction, that is in upward direction and downward direction. The cells of phloem has thin cell wall unlike xylem. They are present in all part of plant including stem, leaves and roots. So what are the main function of phloem? They transport food in the form of sucrose from leaves to other plant parts. They store nutrients and organic compounds and they support plant tissues. So now that we have learned about both xylem and phloem, let's compare them to understand their difference better. So first, on the basis of function, xylem transport water and minerals, whereas phloem transports food. Direction of transport. In xylem, the direction of transport is in upward direction, that is from roots to leaf, but in phloem, the direction of transport is both upward and downward. Type of cells. Mostly dead cells except xylem parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma is the only living cells in xylem, whereas all other cells are dead cells. In phloem, mostly all are living cells except phloem fibers. Cell wall thickness. In xylem, the wall of the cells are thick and lignified, whereas in phloem, the cell wall are thin and non-lignified. Structural role. Xylem provides mechanical strength. Phloem provides little structural support. Components. The components of xylem are vessels, tracheids, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. And the components of phloem are seed tubes, companion cell, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. Presence in plant. Xylem forms wood in trees. Phloem forms soft tissue in bark. So this is all about the differences. Uh, so we can think of xylem as a water pipe and phloem as a food delivery system in plants. Both are essential for plant survival, just like our veins and arteries help in the circulation of blood. So this is all about plant tissue. With this, we conclude our topic plant tissue. Thank you.